lost my job and I had got behind on my payments on the mortgage. And so basically the bank was, going on foreclosure on my house. But I just was praying and believing God for favor that the bank would do a remodification on my home and that, the payments would come down. And so God had blessed me by meeting this realtor guy who knew how to do the modification. And how God blessed me with that in the beginning is he didn't charge me any money or anything. He took his time and he filled out all the paperwork with me, made sure everything was done, and he didn't charge me anything. Only thing he said was share his good name with other people, and I was like, sure, I have no problem with that. I heard from the bank. They called and they said, we're gonna do a partial modification for you where they're gonna pay pay all my back pay, my taxes and insurance, and catch me up. And then to be in the program, I just have to make the first 3 payments this year. And so they called me and told me that. And so I just was like, I told the lady on the phone before we got off, that's a favor of God. And she was like, okay. And she was like, just fill out the paperwork and send it in. But then the next day she called me back and she was like, well, the government, they stopped the partial payment. So she was like, we have to give you a full modification where they're going to still pay everything back that I owe. Plus, they're going to lower the payments for me. They're going to lower the payment that I was paying. So that's the unprecedented favor that God has shown me this year, starting off, and there's more to come.
I had a bill that was $2,550, and I called to make a payment arrangement, and they called and said, well, all I have to do is make a payment of $261 and it's resolved. So I praise God, and he's been working in my life over and above. I don't have my cane anymore. I'm excited. So I'm ready for what God has for me in 2013.
My wife, some time ago, had one of her clients give her a number of an individual who does SAT test prep. So the cost of this test prep is $2,100, which is kind of pricey. It's not your typical Kaplan class or anything like that. And my daughter, she's 16, she's a junior and will be taking the SAT soon. She was interested in doing it. So I didn't rule it out, though I wasn't sure how we were going to pay for it. And I pursued it. Long story short, the gentleman is actually going to be leaving for Canada in August, and he was looking for someone to groom to take over the business. So we had a meeting, and he's identified me as that person. And we had our first meeting right after Christmas, and again, wasn't sure how I was going to pay for the class for my daughter to take. And I didn't ask about it, I didn't inquire. Out of his own mouth during our meeting, he suggested that why don't he teach my daughter how to do it for free, and then I'll pay for that class out of the profits I make when I take over the business. So just, again, exciting, unexpected. And when I told my daughter, she was so excited. I think she screamed on the phone, "That's crazy." So you can add crazy to one of the synonyms for unprecedented. We've got unparalleled, never been seen before, and crazy.